What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Absolutely April, here for another Married at First Sight recap. What y'all feel about this episode? I'm starting to feel like season 16, the Nashville crew, they are much better than San Diego. So far, I'm liking this cast. Comment down below, tell me what you think. Now, before we get into the recap on my reactions and things I want to bring out in this episode, I first want to welcome everybody to my channel. I do recaps on TV shows, reality shows, movies, anything that I'm feeling called to. I might even do some spiritual tips, and you might just see me do a little gossip sesh. You just never know. So, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Join the tribe. Also, if you love Married at First Sight, if you'd like to watch these reaction videos, you might as well go ahead and like the video. And you can go ahead, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified about all of my uploads. So now that we got all the preliminaries out the way, let's go ahead and talk about Married at First Sight. Season 16, we're on episode 3. The episode is called Music City Matrimony. So, I'm going to get some pictures for y'all. Oh my goodness. I have been loving this season thus far. I'm engaged. But you know how Married at First Sight does. They have so many episodes you start getting burned out. So I'm hoping they stay on this path where it's fun, it's light. I have some thoughts on some of these, and let's go ahead and get into it. The first couple is Eris and Jasmine. So we start back with Eris and Jasmine. We all know that Eris's cousin, I think her name is Felina, she is dipping her nose in Eris's business, and she basically told Eris, like, look, we can get this. I got the car running. You can go ahead and just jump in the car. Don't worry about this. Let's just leave. Don't do this. So, Eris at this point is like, you don't have nothing good to say. So she was just like, look, if you say you love Black women, then show it. So I like what she's saying. And I like that she's, holding his feet to the fire. However, girl, Felina, mind your own business at this point. He has signed his contract. He is going to be on this show. At this point, you might as well support him. Go ahead and support your cousin, because right now you are being a negative energy in where he's already nervous. He already doesn't know what to expect. And here you come trolloping along with your negative energy. Like, at this point, you need to be escorted out of the wedding, because if you're going to continue to be a Debbie Downer, I don't have time for that. Eris don't have time for that. All he needs is love and light. Thank you for giving me the truth and how you feel. But at this point, I'm moving forward and I need your support. And if you cannot support me, bye. That's what he should have told her. That, because she's overstepping. And I feel like she's already overstepping now. Guess what? She's gonna be overstepping within him and Jasmine's marriage. I think it's gonna be a recipe for disaster for this cousin, y'all. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Do you think the cousin is within her bounds to be talking to try to detract Eris from getting married? Or, do you feel like I feel like, shut the hell up at this point? It's not cute. It is not cute. So, moving forward, let me just bring out some things that I saw so far. Now, I got a little, if y'all didn't watch it, this is his cousin right here, Felina. So you can see what she looks like up front. She's a nice looking girl. I feel like I've seen her before somewhere. Ain't no telling. But I think she means well, but she's going about it the wrong way, and she's overstepping. Like, you don't have any business of your own at this point. If Eris is a grown man, Eris is a grown man. At this point, you need to let him make his own mistakes. If it works out, what's the big deal at this point? Why do you keep talking? So yeah. So Jasmine's dad is a preacher. He walks her down the aisle, and she also says that her dad is like I said, he's a preacher, but she's like, divorce is not an option. He's very religious, and she feels the same way. Divorce is not going to be an option. I I feel both ways. Like, I don't want to go into my marriage thinking about divorce. I didn't go into my marriage thinking like, oh, I got, divorce is going to be an option for me. I didn't even, me and my husband, we decided not to even bring it up unless, we're not going to just throw it out there haphazardly. We wouldn't go just casually throw out that word because there's an energy around that word. Energy is everything. So you're throwing that energy out there already. So I get that you don't want to start thinking about that. But at the same time, Jasmine, this particular process, it does need to be a consideration because the experts most of the time don't have it right. And don't make yourself be in a situation that you don't like just because you don't want to get divorced. That should not ever be your thought process. If it's not right and you don't see any future and you've tried everything you can, sometimes you just need to cut cord. You need to cut ties with that person, especially in a process like this. I don't want you to be in a relationship where you're not happy and you're just doing it because you don't want to disappoint your father because he's a preacher. What is he going to think? What is the church going to think? You have to start doing what's best for you. And if you don't feel like Eris is that one, then yeah, you might want to cut ties with him. So, and vice versa. Eris is the same way. If he does not see anything with Jasmine, he needs to cut ties with her. But my prediction is, if they get down to decision day, if they make it to decision day, I'm pretty sure Eris is going to be the one that's going to say he doesn't want to get married if he doesn't feel like that. If he does not see any future with Jasmine, I don't see Eris having any problem with telling her he wants a divorce. And I feel like he would be the one to initiate it out of Jasmine. I think that Jasmine will do what she needs to do to keep that marriage together, but Eris would have to be the one to cut it off. And by him being an only child, I don't see him having no problems with cutting it off. As a fellow only child, I'm also an only child. I understand it's going to be a hard road for Eris because he hasn't shared space with the woman before. He's always had his own stuff. He's pretty much spoiled. And so now he gonna have Jasmine. And guess what, y'all? Dag on 13 dogs. She has 4 dogs of her own because we know in previous episodes, she said anytime she gets baby fever, she gets a dog. So she has 4 dogs. And then on top of that, she has 9 puppies. Now she is a breeder. However, that's a lot of dogs to have in that little shared space. So I don't know if she's going to bring all those dogs into the shared space. I don't think I would. I would really want to see what her home looks like. Like, is it big enough that's going, where you don't feel like all these dogs are on top of each other? I'm hoping so because Eris is going to run for the hills if he feels claustrophobic with all them daggone dogs. As soon as she said that she has 4 dogs, he was like, oh, 1 dog, maybe. You talking about 4 dogs? And he was not. You can already see the wheels in his mind turning like, oh God, what am I going to do? He even made, I don't know if it was a joke, but he even said that, do I need to snitch on her and call the county? Because this can't be legal with her having all these dogs. Now, like I said, I can't wait to see her house because if her house is small and she got all them dogs, Eris ain't trying to feel that. He's not gonna feel that. He's not gonna understand that. It's not going to be his thing. Now, if it's a pretty decent sized house and it's not infringing on his space, because like I said, he's the only child and we only children, we love our space. So if it doesn't infringe on his space and he doesn't feel like he's being overrun by dogs, they may be able to stick it out. But if it were me, I wouldn't bring no 4 dogs and them puppies into that shared living space. I need you to have somebody that can watch your dogs for you, or just bring one that you're really fond of. You're gonna have to ease Eris into this. You can't just thrust him into 4 dogs. Jasmine, if you're listening, don't thrust him into 4 dogs. Give him some time to get used to one, and then gradually, up it, up it, or or if you're gonna rehome the dog. But I don't think you're gonna rehome the dog because you're looking at it as your babies. So yeah, you're gonna have to give Eris some grace because I don't see that being a good recipe. I see a recipe for disaster. Now let me go. I'm looking at my notes. So when she walks down the aisle, Eris kind of looks relieved. He's attracted to her, so he seemed like he was attracted to her. He claps his hands and everything. He's so excited that she ain't no bugaboo. So he's they he does make the comment that she's tall, and Eris is on the short side. Eris kind of reminds me of my dad, or this guy that I used to talk to. But yeah, that's who he kind of reminds me of. And he is on the short side. So for me, I'm 5'5", I'm average height. So if I had dated a guy that was, shorter than me with heels on, first of all, I don't particularly like that. But if I do, I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm not gonna wear my 5-inch stilettos. I might just wear a nice little 3-inch or 4-inch. But yeah, he seems like he might have a little issue of her just towering over him. So we're gonna see how that works. But he did make mention that, oh wow, she's tall. Like I don't think he gets down with that too much. Now, as the family are saying, all the pleasantries, before they share their vows about their person. Now, one of the things that did stick out was that Eris's family said that he was not good at communication. And looking at this episode, he's definitely not good at communication, not in the least bit. So it's going to seem like Jasmine is going to have to kind of, pull a lot of the conversation out of him until he gets extremely comfortable with her, where he, just kind of like jokes around. Because I feel like he has a joking spirit. I feel like he probably has a decent sense of humor, but until he warms up to you, I feel like it won't happen. She won't see it until he warms up. And I'm going to see if Jasmine can continue on and, wait for him to get comfortable so he can open up. I don't see him opening up right then. And again, he's the only child. So, it's hard, we're used to being by ourselves. So sometimes our communication, we can kind of retreat. We don't mind being alone. So, and she comes from a big family, so she knows how to kind of really be social and deal with a lot of people, and Eris doesn't. So it's going to definitely be a learning curve with these two. And I hope Jasmine is patient enough to deal with Eris, because that would be hard for me to try to pull information out of somebody like that. And I feel like she's going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to communicating, when it comes to having conversations and getting to know each other. She's going to have to probably do a bulk of the heavy lifting until he gets totally comfortable. And maybe he gets comfortable on the trip, but I don't know. I feel like Jasmine gonna end up getting aggravated with him because he does not seem like he's just a big talker initially. So Jasmine says that, she is attracted to him. She says that, he's fine. She called him fine. So she thinks he looks nice. But she does make mention that he's shorter than her. So, that may or may not be an issue, but she did make mention of that. So as they are sitting, so after they get married, exchange vows. This is them, they're sitting here talking, just kind of talking to each other. She finds that I think Eris says he's 39, 38, 39. She says, you look good for your age. You don't look that old. And she's like 32, 34, somewhere in that age bracket. So she's saying, there's nothing wrong with the age gap. It's kind of makes sense. So I still feel like Eris is for the streets, but we shall see. So hopefully his maturity will come into play. I think Jasmine seems like she's very mature. She talks about all of her jobs she has, and this is when she tells him that she has 4 dogs, and that's when he's kind of thrown off with 4 dogs. Like that's a bit much for him. And like I said, if she can kind of ease him into it, maybe, and especially if she has a bigger house, because I think Eris might stay in a 1-bedroom apartment or something. They're going to have to find something that's going to accommodate those 4 dogs where Eris doesn't feel overwhelmed. That's my recommendation. So I think I have a few more pictures. That's them talking, just getting to know each other. So that's going to be their saving grace. Is I feel like the brunt of it is going to fall on Jasmine, trying to make him feel comfortable. So let's get to Dominique and McKinley, y'all. Here's Dominique. I like this picture of Dominique because y'all know from the last one, I don't like her dress that she picked out. I feel like she just like haphazardly went and picked out her dress. She didn't even get the thing tailored. I did not like her dress situation at all. I just felt like it made her look old and outdated more than anything. But Dominique, friends, as she's getting ready, her friends are like, yeah, I feel like you're ready for marriage. And I don't see it. Honestly, y'all, I do not see where Dominique is ready for marriage. I feel like she's trying to appease her mother, and I feel like her mother is trying to live vicariously through her. So I don't see it, but her friends like, yeah, you like to go out and then you like to do puzzles and you're doing good at work. You're doing well at work. I think she's in some type of sales. So they think that doesn't make you ready for marriage, though. That makes you ready to be a grown up, not really so much ready for marriage. So she, at least not for McKinley, maybe she needs someone on her energy level who does not mind going out, who does not mind hitting the town, going, club hopping. That is the type of person that she could probably relate to a little bit more because that's where she is in life. She wants to go out, hang out with the girls. She doesn't mind being in, but she definitely wants to be out and about. So I chose this picture of Dominique because I thought this was a really, really cute picture of her. I could kind of see her a little bit better. Yeah, I like this picture of her. This is one of the things I want to bring. And here's a picture of McKinley. This is also a nice picture of McKinley. I like them both separate. I just don't like them together. Let's see. Here's another picture. So this is them at their wedding. Y'all see the dress. I wish I could zoom in a little bit more on that dress. She was constantly tugging and pulling at that dress. She had a Claire's jewelry choker on from the 90s. It was a mess. It was a mess. I don't know. I mean, her mom's dress looked good. I don't know why they wanted her to wear that particular dress. I just, I know she may mention she's a tomboy, but still, her mom doesn't seem like a tomboy. Her mom seems a little feminine, to have some femininity because her dress is nice. So I don't know why they chose that dress for Dominique. It's not doing anything. It's not flattering for her. So as McKinley is, as the producers are talking to McKinley about what he wants and everything like that, he's saying, now he's starting to have some trepidation because he's like, maybe I was too vague about what I wanted. So he's like, I said this and I said that, but I don't think I was open to anything. And so now he's like, I feel like in his mind, he's regretting his decision of saying that I'm just open because now he don't know what is going to be at the at the end of the altar for him. So he's kind of like, should I have said a little bit more? And I get it. Like, I feel like in this process, these people, whoever coming on Married at First Sight, you need to be very specific in what you want, not overly picky like Kirsten, but you need to be specific. Certain things you want to have in a wife, or a husband, and certain things you want to be able to are non-negotiables, and you need to know that coming in so they can pair you as best as they can, or if that person isn't there, they don't waste your time. Because McKinley, I think that you were just like willy-nilly wanting okay with everything to the point where I don't know if you were as specific as you needed to be, because now they paired you with the 25-year-old that I don't, and according to the previews, don't even look like y'all gonna get along like that. So yeah, I feel like that's partially might be a little bit of McKinley's fault, because you got to be a little bit more specific in what you're asking for from these experts. And that's all about self-awareness too. Like, before you go in a process like this, I would recommend you need to make sure you have some level of self-awareness. Because if you just think, you might think you want something and it may not be good for you and where you want to go in life. So you need to know those things before you get on Married at First Sight. However, Dominique's mom did mention she wants wants Dominique to have someone who can afford her and allow her to be a stay-at-home mom. So Dominique's mom is now wanting, pushing Dominique like, okay, now we're going to do this. Now let me make sure we have grandbabies. Like, slow down, slow down, mom. Let me get used to being married first, and then we can talk about grandbabies. She already wants the girl to quit her job so she could be a stay-at-home mom. So her mom is kind of fast tracking Dominique's life, and rather than allowing Dominique to just live her life. And I feel like this is going to not bode well for this couple, because mommy on Dominique's end has a battery in her back. Now, quiet as it's kept, McKinley's mom is she's on the opposite spectrum from Dominique's mom. She's like, I wish you would have went the traditional route, that we could have, you could have eased us into this girl. Now we don't know what we about to get, and you about to subject her to us. And McKinley even gave some background. He said his mom offered him $50,000 not to do this process. Y'all, McKinley probably should have took that money and ran. And then, I was thinking, let me say something else, but read a little bit more off of my notes, and then I'm gonna say something else that just popped in my head. So McKinley says, he has dated young women without jobs, and he doesn't want that. So he does not want a younger woman without a job, but I don't think he wants a young woman at all. He says he's done that and it has not worked out for him. Now, although Dominique does have a job, she still is young, almost 10 years younger than him. So that's quite a bit. They're in two different stages in life. He's trying to slow down and she wants to be out and about. Let's see. Now, McKinley says he moved to Nashville. He says the reason why he moved to Nashville was to find love. Now, before, he said his cannabis business did not work out. And so he, went to Nashville to kind of, look for work and just to kind of put roots down somewhere. And he's staying with his best friend's parents in their basement. Now he said he moved to Nashville for love. So I'm sitting here like, how Married at First Sight will say what city they're going to next. And I was like, did McKinley move to Nashville because he knew Married at First Sight was coming to Nashville? Like, because he just living in somebody's basement at this point. And I think he works some type of construction. So I'm sitting here like, did you just move to Nashville to get on Married at First Sight? Because he said he moved here for love. And he ain't been out with nobody in Nashville. So I don't know. What y'all think? Comment down below. Do you think McKinley might have moved to Nashville because he knew Married at First Sight was coming there and he wanted to be on Married at First Sight? Because you just went to somebody's and lived in somebody's basement. It's it's a look. It just it, my antennas went up when he said that, because he said one thing during the interview process and now he's saying a whole nother thing. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That's just a sneaky suspicion I have. I could be wrong. So in my notes I said Dom's dress don't fit her, and it does not. McKinley's mom said, he would have preferred a traditional courtship, like I said. Um, when Dominique comes down the aisle, McKinley seems very attracted to her. He likes that she has boobs. He's a boob man, so he likes that she has a plethora of boobs. And he's attracted to her. He said he's dated Latino women, he's dated white women, and he's even dated black women. So he's definitely attracted to her. She's in his wheelhouse of what he probably would like. So as they're going through the whole thing where they're talking about, the family is talking about things about the individual. When it comes to McKinley's part, his family said that McKinley likes, sit at home and do a Netflix and chill night. He's just as fine doing that as well as adventure. So when they say he likes to sit back home and do Netflix and chill, y'all, Dominique said, "Oh God, like what?" I told y'all, I knew it. When she said, "Oh God," I was like, "Oh yeah." She wants somebody to be in the streets with her. She wants somebody to allow her to be in the streets, and she want to be in the streets with them. She don't want to sit at home. That's why I keep saying, y'all, this girl is not no old soul. She want to be an old soul, but she is not an old soul. I I don't know. I don't know what's going to be their downfall, but I definitely don't. I definitely don't see them working out. So after they get to the, going to the, taking pictures and stuff, the producers asked Dominique, "What's your husband's name?" This child cannot remember her husband's name. Y'all, side note, you see that little choker she got, the little Claire's, like a little Claire, like she got something from Claire's. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And she was constantly, when you have a strapless, she's constantly pulling it up. So that means it's not tailored to your body. So this is her. She can't remember McKinley's name. She called him Michaela, McKeely. She could not think of McKinley's name. Poor Mac. Poor Mac. Um, so as they're talking, they share their age, and it kind of got a little awkward because he was like, "Oh, am I too old for you?" And she's like, "No, I wanted somebody old. I wanted someone who was on my emotional level." Again, self-awareness, everybody. Self-awareness. Say it with me. Self-awareness. These people don't have any self-awareness. This is why we end up in these situations. That's all I have to say about that. So let's see. I'm going through here. Let's see who we got. We got Nicole and Chris. So Nicole loves that, Chris communicates and checks in on her. Like the whole time, Chris was like, "Are you okay? Are you good?" She loves that. And like y'all heard before from the last episode, she said that men have not traditionally just checked on her and made sure she was good. So Chris is innately doing the things that she loves. And he's checking on her, making sure she's good, making sure nothing's wrong, making sure she's comfortable. So I like them together. I like Nicole and Chris. So far, so good. Like I said before, Chris is going to have to learn boundaries when he does not want something or want to do something, or just speaking up when Nicole is getting on his everlasting nerves. He needs to speak up for himself. That's what I see for Chris, is boundaries. And the biggest thing I see for Nicole is being able to calm that energy down and listen more than she speaks. Let Chris talk, get to know Chris, listen, don't be such a talker and want to talk, 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 talk. Allow Chris to talk and take the lead. That's going to be her thing. That is going to be her thing. So back at Dominique and McKinley. Yeah, I'm probably setting myself up for failure doing this. For Dominique and McKinley, trying to look for some of this stuff. Okay, Dominique and McKinley. I'm gonna keep doing this so we can get to know these people. Dom and McKinley. She thinks McKinley is handsome. And Dominique, and they seem to definitely get along with each other. They both have like this awkwardness. They both talk about how they don't, the other one, how they feel awkward with taking pictures. So they're relating on their awkwardness and stuff like that. So right now it's smooth sailing. It is smooth sailing. Now Gina and Clint talk about their business, and as Gina is talking about her business, Clint's eyes is glazing over. Clint's eyes are glazing over. He don't want to hear about Gina's business, and she's just. I don't have a picture of that, so that's why I just put this up. Gina doesn't. She's very proud of where she's come. She's proud of her salon. She's building something out and moving on up, like the Jeffersons. However, Clint don't want to hear that. He said, I just want to know a little bit more about you, not your business. So, but Gina is going to have to get out of that flow of always talking about her business. I know she's proud of her accomplishments. She's proud of her business, but this is the time. I do agree with Clint. This is the time to get to know her, who she is as a person. But at this point, Clint, if your eyes are already glazing over, this is not a good sign. And ask her a little bit more about herself outside of your business. What do you like to do? Or outside of your business, this and that. Talk a little bit more about traveling, a little something that gets her out of the business, because when you are a business owner, you tend to talk about business all the time because it's like your baby. So, yeah. Or maybe you could talk about Hank. I think she would love to talk about Hank. I gotta get some water. I love this coldest water bottle. I love it. So, so now back at Jasmine and Eris. Jasmine and Eris. Eris, she gets Eris to bless the food. So she finds out that Eris doesn't really eat meat. So she asks, is this for health reasons? He's just like, no. And he's like, okay, so you're just a pescatarian? He's like, yeah. Like he's giving her these one-word answers. It's like, oh my God, Eris, expound. He would drain me. He would drain me. I couldn't deal with that. So, she's trying to figure out like, okay, is it, meat, does meat eating meat, would that offend you? He's like, no, no, it's all good. You can eat meat. I just don't eat meat. Like, he's just like, so, chill. Like his energy is so chill, like too laid back. So they end up talking about each other's schedule. And so as they're talking about their schedule, Jasmine figures out that they are going to be like two ships passing a night because her schedule is totally different from his. So that's going to be a big issue. So Eris asks, he says, so what you going to, how you going to walk your dogs and do, take care of your dogs if we on opposite schedules? Eris is not trying to take care of these dogs. I hope these dogs are small. I think she said she's a breeder of mini golden doodles, but I think mini golden doodles are still about 20 pounds, or 30. So even though they're mini, they're still pretty big. So I don't know. We gonna see. I don't know. This whole dog thing is going to be a serious situation. So this is where Eris, as they're talking, at the reception, this is where Eris finds out, oh yeah, and I have 9 puppies. So she's got this, in her defense, she's going to sell her puppies. So they're not going to be there forever. But sometimes, you know, if she doesn't get a lot of people who want the puppies, she has to take care of them until someone purchases the puppy. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Them dogs gonna be there for a while, Eris. But the good thing is that she breeds many golden doodles, and though golden doodles are very much so high in demand, like those French bulldogs, golden doodles are in high demand. So I don't think she keeps those puppies that long. But I don't think she can get rid of them until after like 8 weeks or 12 weeks. So they're going to be there at least for 8 weeks. Oh boy, we shall see. We shall see what's going to happen. Now to one of my favorite couples, Kirsten and Shaquille. Now, I just wanted to show y'all some pictures of what I found of Kirsten and Shaquille. So I thought this picture was so beautiful of Kirsten. Kirsten is a beautiful girl, period. She's very pretty. She's very elegant. She seems very classy. I love Kirsten. So far, I love Kirsten. I don't think she has a stank attitude. She's just very particular. She's a typical church girl that I grew up around. You know, very ladylike, prim and proper. But you know, she's a lady in the street, but a freak in the sheets. I bet she's like that. So yeah, she's made no qualms about wanting her man to be well endowed. So that's why I said she's a lady in the street, but a freak in the sheets. But moving on from that, Kirsten and Shaquille. I love them together on paper, but I think her attraction is starting to grow, y'all. I think her attraction is starting to grow towards him. Um, but I hope she doesn't revert back because, you know, attraction is a big thing. So even though, yes, they look good on paper and she realizes they have a lot in common, if she can't get over that hump, it's not going to be a good thing for them. It's not. Remember, you heard it from me. It's not going to be a good thing. And if I have some time, I'm going to do a quick card reading on them. But yes, I think that they are going to be good on paper. But if she can just allow herself to really, you know, let her list go and let her stuff go about how she feels about his outside and just allow them, you know, herself to really, you know, embrace him, I think that would be good. I really do. So this is her right here. She's saying, two strikes. He got a bald head and he's younger than her. That was two strikes. So that was hilarious. And so I like, I don't know, Shaquille. You have a long way to go. He was on the after party, this particular after party. So he was just like, you know, he didn't really make mention, or it didn't seem to shake him that she said all of this stuff that, you know, I'm pretty sure he's seen so now. But he definitely said, you know, we just gonna keep rocking and let attraction grow. He's not going to allow that to deter him. So, you know, Shaquille was talking about how he wants to go to sleep. He was like, I'm tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. And she was like, yes, let's run away and take a nap. So this is them talking at the reception. And, you know, they seem to be getting along. They started seeing a lot of similarities. Y'all remember how last season, you know, when Alexis and Justin first started out, they were that little shady couple. They would throw shade or be talking about people. Sasha and Nate kind of did that too. This is going to be that couple. I can already see them being shady amongst themselves with, you know, towards other couples. I can see them talking smack about other couples and throwing a little shade amongst each other. I don't think they're going to be like mean, you know, and start calling people out. But I think that amongst themselves, they were like, did you hear? Like, I see them doing that because they have very similar personalities. Very similar personalities. So I feel like they are going to be that way. So I'm scared that Shaquille is going to be lumped into a friend zone because they are so similar. And I feel like she's going to treat him like he's one of her girlfriends unless he puts it down. Unless he puts it down. So they were talking about they want to take a nap. So they both did not like were not particular about the food at the wedding. It was some old. It looked like a caprese salad, or it was like a looked like a mozzarella, and it had little tomatoes around it. It looked like maybe some olive oil. So it looks like a caprese salad, but they were like, "What is this? We don't want this." So you can tell that she had nothing to do with the food at the wedding. This is what Married at First Sight gave them, and they was not feeling it. Neither one of them. Shaquille is a country boy. She's a country girl. They probably wanted something more along the lines of some collard greens. So, so Shaquille did make mention there was he feels like there is a deeper issue with them not kissing because this is her curving him at the altar. She gave him her her cheek to kiss. But she says that she basically wanting him to ask her for the kiss, not just go in for the kiss, but to ask her. So that's the expectation she had. However, he's like, we're both married, so he just went in for the kiss. He explains that on the after party, like, I didn't feel like I needed to ask her. But he did get tipped off about, by her bridesmaids, her friends who told them like, look, she's wanting you to ask her for a kiss, not just be around here kissing and slobbing all over, because she definitely wants to kiss you, but she wants you to ask. Like Kirsten is such, oh my God, she is going to be a lot. She is high maintenance. She is high maintenance. I would love to know her sign. I would love to know her sign. She comes off a little bit like a Virgo to me. Um, but I don't know. She could be a Taurus too. She could be a Taurus. But yeah, but she wants him to ask her for a kiss. She feels like that's a gentleman thing to do. So Shaquille just feels like she's a virtuous woman. He feels like she's a virtuous woman, and he respects that about her. So yeah, so far so good with them. This is them right here. See, they're having a good time. They are having a good time. But like I said, they're going to be that couple that's going to throw shade at other people. I guarantee they are going to be that couple. Let's see what else I got. Oh yeah, and this is him with her bridesmaids, and they're looking at him like they had him for lunch. They definitely had him for lunch. Because he tells them, God, they're asking him, why are you doing this? He said, God, basically told him that it was time. He said again, he's lonely, which is not a reason to get married. He says he was lonely. He checked off a lot of things on his list, and now, the wife was the logical next step. But you know how I feel about that. So I just feel like that's not a reason to get married. Like that's the logical next step. Like that's like what Jagged Edge said. We ain't getting no younger. We might as well do it. That's not romantic. That's not really saying, because everybody ain't ready. Sometimes you just need to take a little bit more time and assess where you are. What can you give to a woman? Where are you? Is there some healing I need to do before I go bring a woman into my life and I'm not all the way healed, and vice versa? Woman, the same thing. So yeah, so I don't like when people just say, it's the next thing, it's the next step. um he tells her friends that he makes time for what he wants to do. And so the bridesmaid with the bun, she's just like, yeah, you're giving all these politically correct answers, so I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow so I can dig in some more. She said, I'm gonna grill them like some ribs at a barbecue. So yeah, I hope he can survive the next day with these girls, because they are ready to jump on him. I mean, you can even see from the picture, like they leaning in, like they are ready to defend their girl. And I think he's slick enough to survive. He can speak. He's very eloquent in his speech. I think he'll be able to survive, but I really do think it's gonna be hot in here. So take off all your clothes. He gonna be dabbing some sweat beads off that bald head, because they is not going to let up on him. I can already see it. So let's get over back to Dom and McKinley, because there is some things that comes up with Dominique and McKinley that we do need to address. Let's see. No, that's Chris. That's Chris. Okay. So this is Dom and McKinley talking to Dominique's mom and grandmother. Grandmother looks nice. Grandmother had on a nice grandmother of the bride dress. Grandmother was hitting. She looked so nice. I don't know how old she is, but she does not look old at all. And she just really looks good. Grandma is, yeah, I like grandma. So McKinley is talking to Dominique's mother and grandmother. And so they just basically, let them know, of course he could see, and said that, they let her know that Dominique is biracial, and how does his family feel about the fact that they are Black. And so McKinley said there's no issue with that. And they said, what about your grandma? Is your grandma gonna have an issue? And he was like, he says no, but it's tricky when it comes to, things like that, and being, of different races. McKinley, he says that there is no issue, so hopefully there won't be an issue with that, because I can't imagine going into a marriage and, being with someone who is another race from me, and I be treated like an outsider, treated as less than. And I guess, that's what Dominique's mom and grandmother was trying to do, like let her know, like, look, are y'all going to accept her? You're going to treat my baby right. You're not going to be in here making her feel less than because she is, Black, or, whatever she identifies as, biracial and stuff. So that was a big thing for them. And I thought it was a good conversation for him to have, and, kind of address the elephant in the room. Now, also, Dominique speaks to McKinley's mom, and she was a little standoffish. She kind of, she said, I was not down for this whole thing. So she said, I would have preferred for this to be done traditionally, but here we are. And she was like, you seem lovely. So I don't know how it's going to go with his mom. I mean, McKinley did say on the after show that they exchanged numbers, and it was, she really liked Dominique. So we're going to see how it works. That's McKinley's point of view. I would love to know Dominique's point of view. So moving on from Dominique, let's go back to Eris. Eris, he meets, let's see. Eris meets, Jasmine's family, and like Jasmine comes from a large family. She has 2 sisters and I think a brother. She has, cousins and stuff. So she has, a pretty large family and a support system. So Eris meets, Jasmine's sisters, and, he asks if she is a good communicator. Like, Eris, how dare you ask if she's a good communicator when you're not? But they said she doesn't like to be confrontational. She would rather, she would kind of like to sweep things under the rug. So she doesn't like to have confrontation. And he's like, what, that ain't good. It ain't good that you don't talk, Eris. It's not good that you don't talk either. So don't be up here judging Jasmine because because you mad about her having 4 dogs. Goodness gracious. So he then goes on to tell them he hasn't been in any serious relationships, and he is the only child, and he doesn't know how he feels about sharing space. So why did you choose to do a Married at First Sight? You got to share space with somebody. I don't know, y'all. And like the cousin said, she wasn't convinced that Eris was ready. I'm not convinced either, but I mean, a lot of people are thinking it's going to be a whole Woody situation where Woody came in, and I mean, I was side-eyeing Woody too, but Woody came in, he did the work. He was very intentional when it came to Amani, and they, it worked out for them. However, I don't see that in Eris. Eris just seems like, I don't see him putting forth the effort. I just don't. I don't see him putting forth the effort. I feel like Eris has been spoiled by all the women in his life, and I don't see him putting forth the effort. And that's what I tell my son all the time: put forth some effort. Try to do some things on your own. Like, don't no woman want no man that ain't, don't have those leadership qualities. And I don't see no leadership qualities in Eris right now. I really don't. So Jasmine meets with Eris's family, and the cousin again. She mean mugging and talking. She felt that Eris was being crazy for doing this whole situation. This cousin has got to back. She get to know Jasmine. So she did say, Jasmine said, well, I can be stubborn and stuff like that. And she was talking a little bit about her flaws, and then the cousin was kind of like saying in the confessional that I know she does pageants, so I feel like she's giving pageant answers, and she already knows what she's gonna say. I think she was being genuine, and I think you a hater. You are a hater, and you don't need to come around them, because you and that nasty energy of yours is going to spill off, and you're not going to even allow Eris to even really do what he needs to do and become a man. Ugh, she annoyed me. So Clint and Gina, they go through their whole. He talked to her bridesmaids. Now, Gina bridesmaid was a little suspect, because Gina's bridesmaid was talking about death and dying and stuff. I was like, what? And for her toast was horrible. To me, it was just like, it was a little grim. And so the bridesmaids talk to Clint, and then he tells them that he's solid and ready for a long-term relationship. He said he won't look to get sexual tonight because homie don't play that. That's an indication right there. He done said something about in living color, and I know exactly about living color. But for someone to quote that, you are old. Clint is older than 40 years old, y'all, because he said homie don't play that. He said homie don't play that. That's an indication right there that he's old. He is old. I'm telling you, he's not 40. He's older than 40. But yeah, he said homie don't play that. And right when he said that, I said, oh yeah, he's old. So Nicole did bring up an issue about Chris. Nicole brings up an issue about Chris, and she loves the fact that he is, accommodating for her, but she is getting the vibe that Chris is too nice and he may not have boundaries. What did I say, y'all? What did I say? He is not showing to have some boundaries. He might be too accommodating, and she's not going to like that. So I'm hoping that they can work through that. I'm hoping that the experts will help Chris establish some boundaries, because I feel like she would be able to walk all over him, and that's when she would lose respect for him. And I read a book that said women want love and men want respect. And once a woman don't respect you, that's pretty much like, that's the kiss of death. So Chris does meet Nicole's dad, and they have a situation. He's kind of like basically letting him know, I wasn't, I'm not a big fan of this whole situation. I don't know you. I don't know who you are, but he's going to work with what he got. And he has to, he's very skeptical, and he's going to have to work to get his approval. And I think Chris will be okay. And Chris tells him, that, it's all about listening. And he was like, well, yeah, that's a part of communication. He was kind of giving Chris a hard time, but Chris held his own. He said he's a listener, so he's going to listen to what she needs. So that whole thing, typical daddy, situation where he's kind of laying the law down and like, this is my baby girl. Don't try it. Do not try it with my baby girl. So yeah, that's kind of how, he did with him. They end up, Chris and Nicole, they went back to the suite, and they got a little comfortable, and she wants to, they had a little their type of steam. They kissed, and they cuddled and stuff like that. And Chris seemed like he was down for whatever. So he's enjoying Nicole, and Nicole seems to be enjoying him. I'm hoping that she doesn't get tired of him. I'm hoping that he doesn't annoy hurt with, him not being able to set the boundaries that he needs to set. But I think that they will be okay as long as the experts help them. And the experts have been known to just take a whole step back, and they have to sit up here and deal with the issues on their own. So hopefully that won't be the case. I think it's just going to take a lot of communication between the two to let them know, like, okay, to have that healthy level of respect for each other. But I see them, so far, I see them lasting. I think they will last. I think that they will last. So at the end, they get the garter, they kind of show a little montage of stuff. And, Shaquille gets to dancing for Kirsten. He dances for Kirsten. He does a little, stripper dance and rolling and popping and stuff. So Kirsten doesn't seem like she didn't seem to mind. She enjoyed it. She embraced, everything. And Shaquille had a little bit of rhythm. I was like, okay, Shaquille. Now, see, that for me, it would, maybe if I'm a little drunk, it won't bother me. But if I'm like fully sober, I would probably be so embarrassed. Like, I would probably be like, oh my God, like, this is so embarrassing. And I don't know, that's just me. That's my personality. Like, that would make me embarrassed. Now, if I have a drink, and probably if me and my husband are like that, then yeah, I would be okay with it. I could see my husband doing a dance like that. He would have no shame. But for me, I would have like wanted to fall through the floor, because sometimes when it comes to stuff like that, I'm a little shyer. So yeah. But I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to, go roll with the punches and not get embarrassed. So, Chris takes carries Nicole over the threshold. I thought that was so cute. So, he also tells her that, his dog sleeps to the right of him, and she's totally okay with that because she loves dogs too. Now, if Jasmine had them dogs in the bed, Eris is running for the hills. I can guarantee you that. So that's all I got, y'all. I said I would do a little quick card reading, but we are almost at an hour, and I don't want to, keep the video too long. I didn't mean for the video to be this long, but let's just do one on the couple of the night, on the two major couples. Okay, so that was Dom and McKinley. I don't know why I keep forgetting them. Dom and McKinley and what's his name? Eris and Jasmine. Okay. So what would be a good question to ask Spirit? Let's see. Well, the big thing is the dogs. Will Eris be able, what would be Eris's, let's see, how can I do a question? Will the dogs cause an issue in Eris's relationship with Jasmine? How would Eris deal with the dogs, Jasmine dogs? Let's just keep it simple. How would Eris, Jasmine's I don't know, the cards is thinking. Let's see. Nothing's popped out yet. Y'all, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a situation between them with these dogs. I feel like it's going to be a situation between. Okay, this one kind of popped out. Justice. So I don't think that means that Eris is gonna call the pound on her dogs, but I feel like it's going to be a big weight on their relationship. Like it's going to that's going to be one of the deciding factors in their relationship for Eris. Like, is he going to be able to deal with the dogs? And I don't think he is. I think there's going to be a factor in their relationships that he's just not willing to deal with. I don't feel like he's going to be willing to deal with those dogs and her whole breeding. And I don't feel like she's going to get rid of her dogs for Eris. I don't see that being a big issue. She's going to do that because that's a business for her. And also she sees those dogs as her babies. So I feel like this justice card is telling, that's going to be a big deciding factor in the relationship. Yep. That's what I see. All right. So the next one is Dom and McKinley. Dom and McKinley. Will Dominique's age be a factor in her and McKinley's relationship? Ooh, that one jumped out. She had 2 cards to jump out. First card is the 7 of Staffs. That's going to be a point of contention. You see how the man is look like he's defending, he's defending against those other staffs, like he's hiding behind something, he's in defense mode. That's going to be a point of contention in that marriage, is the whole age and just how she feels. That's going to be an issue for him and her, because she's going to want to do it. She's going to defend her stance, and he's going to have his stance, and they're going to be at an impasse. And that's going to be a big issue in their relationship. They're also going to have some other things that's going to come up for them. It's just going to be a brick wall. Like there is going to be it's going to be hardly ever any compromise in this relationship. No one's going to be willing to bend into compromise. And they're going to always butt heads. Yeah, I think that they're both pretty probably stubborn people, so that's going to always be an issue for them. The other thing that popped out was the 4 of coins. And for me, I feel like that's going to be I think that 4 of coins, because the 4 is kind of, there's balance and there's harmony. However, for this, I just see that nobody is willing to move. It's 4 flat tires to me. Just because it's not like it's moving forward, it's just like they are stubborn. They are going to be set in their ways, and they're not going to be budging. This relationship is going to be like 4 flat tires. It's going nowhere. Nobody's going to be willing to compromise. Nobody's going to be willing to do what it takes to move forward. And I don't see it working. Those 2 cards to me are telling me that that's not going to work. So that's my card reading for Dominique and McKinley and Eris and Jasmine. Thank you all for hanging out with me. It was a little bit longer than I expected, but nevertheless, I appreciate you. And don't forget to subscribe, join my tribe, share the video. Sharing is caring. Like my video, and also smash that notification bell so you'll be notified about all of my uploads and videos on Married at First Sight and anything else that I may be doing. And I thank you all again for hanging out with me. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.